You don't want to miss the 2024 Charleston Black Expo. A full day of fun and activities for the whole family, including job fair, health fair, free seminars, the Divine Nine Greek Village. Join the fireside chat with Mother of Black Hollywood, actress Dr. Jennifer Lewis, and sensational performance by gospel singer and songwriter Dietrich Haddon. It's an enlightening, educating, and entertaining experience you don't want to miss. For tickets and more information, visit blackexposouth.com.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening? It's the Geno Jones Show. Thank you, Mr. Announcer. So I'm coming to you live Monday through Friday. Actually, it is Thursday. On my radio show, I call it a Throwback Thursday. Monday through Friday, you can watch me live. Spread the word, tell everybody. The Geno Jones Show. Been here 3 years. One of the fastest growing shows on YouTube. Subscribe, share, screen grab, create a viral moment, do a YouTube short, or get a video clip and put it on any other social media platform that you have or that you use or somebody else's. Copy and paste the link and text it and email it to everybody. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast, out in Los Angeles, up in the Bay Area, Portland, Oregon, maybe Seattle, Washington. I am glad to be back here with you as always. So tonight, special monologue, no guests, because tonight is the State of the Union address from President Joe Biden. So I saw a video clip from Charles Barkley, former NBA Hall. He's not a former NBA star, superstar. Never won a championship, and Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq and Kenny Smith on like TNT's broadcast of NBA games. They never miss an opportunity to remind him. But I digress. So Charles has become like a media darling. You've seen him in some commercials. As a matter of fact, he's on CNN. They've got a show, King Talk, with him and Gayle King. I don't know, what was it, Charles Barkley? Because, he's opinionated. Y'all could have hollered at me. But look, I'm not mad, I'm not hating, but I'm just saying. But you know what? No, y'all did the right thing, called Charles. That's why I've got my own show, and I've got my own network. But hey, if y'all like what you see, we can work out a deal. Your people can talk to my people, CNN, or the owners of CNN. So I digress. So Charles Barkley said publicly somewhere, it was saying that Democrats only care about black people every 4 years. Now, I know that sentiment has been out there among some in our community. I would just say, yo, Chuck, this cult, this MAGA cult, this racist, sexist, misogynistic, anti-black, anti-Semitic, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant, homophobic, misogynistic, sexist cult, religious cult under the guise of white evangelical Christianity. Really? That party, political party, they don't care about black folks at all. Period. Full stop. Not only do they not care, their plans, they already have plans in place to just come in and sweep all of our rights, all your voting rights, all your civil rights, your rights not to be discriminated against in a job, or if you're trying to open a business, going to banks, they can discriminate and deny you all kind of home loans, loans for businesses, insurance, health care. You can be denied service in a restaurant or a hotel. Oh no, I'm not making this up. Not at all. That they basically they've already gotten rid of women's reproductive rights. So if you live here, I'm here in South Carolina. So get a map. Look at all the states of the original Confederacy, and all those states have at least 15-week. Most of those states they have like a 6-week abortion ban. That means anything after 6 weeks, a woman can't get an abortion. And in a lot of these states, they want to, if they haven't already done it, criminalize. They want to be able to put the woman in jail. So if a woman is a victim of rape, if your daughter or your granddaughter or your niece, 18, 19-year-old niece or daughter, granddaughter in college goes to a party, some dude, they give her some drugs, some ecstasy, whatever, slip something in her drink, and then rape her, and then she gets pregnant. In these states, either she has to carry the baby or face criminal charges, or if you've got a, God forbid, an 11-year-old granddaughter or niece or sister that's a victim of incest, and you're saying she's got to have the child, or she could be facing criminal charges. So you've got the MAGA judges that basically struck down, that repealed the Roe versus Wade decision, Supreme Court decision that said that abortions were safe and legal here in the United States. But they struck down, this court with the MAGA court judges repealed the Roe versus Wade decision, and they allowed all these southern states. But the plan is a national abortion ban. Oh, they're not going to stop there, because they want to ban abortions. They want to ban birth control in all of its forms, in vitro fertilization. So those who have issues with fertility, men or women, you can't even use. So they want to force women to have babies, force births. But for people who want to have a child but are struggling with their fertility, they can't use a technology that's been in existence for years, proven safe and effective. So we want y'all to have more babies because you're not having enough babies, especially young white women. But you can't have babies that way. Don't even try to make it make sense, because it doesn't. Or you live in a city like Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, maybe New York City, up in Harlem, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Los Angeles. Part of Project 2025. I talk about it almost every day. You have to understand there are blueprints. This blueprint goes all the way back to the 80s. A dude named Lee Atwater from right here in the state of South Carolina. Orange Hitler, as I call him, Trump is just like a figurehead. He's like an avatar, the kids say. Or just think of a puppet. Puppets, there's somebody's hand inside the puppet. Orange Hitler is just a puppet, because the people who understand the mechanisms and understand how politics works, how you write legislation, how you get it passed, they understand the levers of power. He is just a figurehead to get this cult in power, this white Christian nationalist, racist, sexist cult that thinks, people say, they're too woke. Or the army's too wake and woke. That means they want to allow discrimination and racism in the military. All these schools, these Ivy League schools, are too woke. That means that they want to be able to discriminate and practice racism in their school admissions and hiring. Anytime you hear the phrase too woke, that means we want to be able to be racist and not be held accountable. We want to be in power, and we don't want to have to acknowledge your history, which is why they want to ban. That's why the banning of books. We don't want the truth to be told. We only want our version of America to be told. That white Christian men are the leaders and the closest thing to God because their Jesus has got blonde hair and blue eyes. Or in this case, they worship, which is, you talking about heresy and blasphemy, dude with orange hair. They're orange Jesus. Some of these Christian nationalists even refer to one of the most amoral sinning ass dudes that's been accused multiple times of sexual assault. In one case, a judge said that he was found guilty. He saw evidence that this woman named E. Jean Carroll was actually raped. The civil lawsuit for $83 million, it was based on he was found guilty by a judge. They look like him because Trump will say, oh, the prosecutors, Fonnie Willis and the DA, New York District Attorney, the sister that's in the office, and then Alvin Bragg is the DA for New York City, basically. All of them are racist. But the judge that found him liable in the main sexual assault case where he's got to pay $83 million, that was an all white man. Letitia James is the New York State District Attorney. They got him up on fraud charges. 91 felony charges. Name me, and then he went as far as saying, oh, you know, black people love me because they can relate to me because I've got 91 felony charges. Show me the black person anywhere on this planet, definitely in America, that's got 91 felony charges and is not in jail or not dead. Show me. I've been on this planet over 5 decades. Show me the one black person that's walked around free, that had 91 felony charges. Just like, just like no big deal. It wouldn't happen. So I'm going to bring it back. And I want everybody to understand all of your freedoms that are at risk now. Everything. Women's reproductive freedoms, the freedoms to determine whether you have a baby, when you have a baby, the freedom to not be forced to carry the pregnancy that was brought about by a rapist, just the pregnancy to just live your life, or the freedom to live your life, to make sure that you have voting rights. So you can sit this one out if you want to, but please understand, this cult, and with all the disinformation, they are putting a lot of this out on social media. Oh, the Democrat, and this for Charles Barkley, just to amplify it, to be like a megaphone, to say exactly, it's the dream scenario for this MAGA cult. Let's find a popular black person to say everything that we want to say. Because he could say it because they can't call him racist. But really, this cult that's in power now, they don't even give a damn. There used to be a thing called, don't say the quiet part that you say behind closed doors. Don't say that out loud. This MAGA cult's like, damn that. We gonna say the quiet part, it ain't gonna be quiet. We gonna say it loud and in public and on camera and on social media. And we gonna stream it live, like they streamed the insurrection, violently attempted to overthrow the government. Can you imagine if you would have had 1,000 black people? Just imagine when they had the Million Man March. You got 1 million black men, heck, just a quarter of those, a tenth of those, 1 million. 100th of that million, 10,000, would have tried to storm the Capitol. They'd have been shot down on sight. So Charles, for you to basically to repeat this racist trope. Now, is the Democratic Party perfect? No party is, no person is. But you have one party that is trying to improve the lives of not just black people, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, even poor and working class white people. You've got the Democrats, President Biden, and listen, President Biden and the Democrats haven't given me a penny, not one penny, to be a sponsor or advertise on this show. But they can. I'd love to have them on as a sponsor. I'm just giving it to you straight, no chaser, brothers and sisters of all races and ethnicities. Please understand, this is a con. This is people are hustling you and they playing with your mind. George Clinton, old school, the king of P-Funk, Parliament Funkadelic, had a song. You can Google it, find it. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Free your mind. Free your mind. And your ass will follow. Free your mind. And your ass will follow. Brothers and sisters, free your mind. Because you see a lot of this stuff, disinformation, and you get people like Charles Barkley, like, well, the Democrats haven't done anything for it. They only care about black folks every 4 years. Well, this cult don't give about black folks no years. They want to take you back to 1850s. They haven't renewed the Civil Rights Act. They haven't renewed the Voting Rights Act. They want to take your voting rights. They don't want you to be able to vote. They don't want you to have any civil rights. Like I said, they wouldn't be able to discriminate against you anywhere in your home, deny you loan opportunities, deny you an opportunity to buy a home, to get a loan, to open up a business, deny you opportunities to go to good schools, deny you opportunities to get a loan or financing to open up a small business or large business. They don't want you in their neighborhoods. They don't want you going to school with their kids. They don't want the truth being taught about America. And they plan to basically fire all the civil service employees and hire people who take a loyalty oath not to the Constitution, but to the president. Man, y'all better wake up. What does Spike Lee said, do the right thing. Wake up! Man, y'all gotta wake up. They've already come for women, including white women. Basically said that you all don't have the right. You don't have the right to determine what to do with your body. We will decide. When, as a matter of fact, we want you, they're telling women, we feel that the only real value you have is to produce offspring, is to have babies. They don't want women to be CEOs. They don't want them to be in business, to own businesses, to be successful in any arenas. They don't want to have to even compete with women or see women as equal. It's not about life. That's bullshit. If any of these white Christian nationalists, and what form of Christianity are they practicing? Where in what Bible did Jesus say he was okay with racism and anti-Semitism and sexism and misogyny and anti-immigrant hate, anti-Muslim? Where? What form of Christianity is that? That's the remix version of Christianity. Did you know there are roughly about 100,000, a little over 100,000 just different denominations of Christianity? Did you know that? Even Christians can't agree on what form of Christianity that we want to practice. And this version, this white Christian nationalist version that always tries to talk about morality, this worshiping the most immoral person, one of the most immoral in the history of humankind, that don't give a shit about nobody, not even his own kids. He don't give a shit about nobody but himself. And you see God in that dude, and you want to be allowed, you feel it's okay to God, your God is okay with you being racist and sexist and misogynistic and teaching and putting out propaganda. Just trying to figure out how do I want to phrase it. It's just so much. That your God would be okay and cool with spewing all kind of disinformation. We're going to blatantly, we're going to lie to folks and deceive them. And we're going to play with their mind. We're going to lie to their face and make them believe it. Kids call it gaslighting. Making you believe that what's reality isn't. Like, no. You are the problem. We're not racist. It's this reverse racism. Black folks are not in a position collectively in America to be racist because we don't control any levers of power in America. And we haven't since our ancestors were brought here 405 years ago. So, Charles Barkley, you got this platform, dude. And you always talking about keeping it real, speaking the truth. Then if you're going to tell it all. If you're going to tell the whole story, tell it all, or don't say nothing. Because you're only hurting people that look like you by doing that. And I got love for Chuck. But listen, I'll name check anybody. Because now it is a choice. Super Tuesday was 2 days ago. Tonight, President Biden has got a State of the Union address, but this is bigger than President Biden or Orange Hitler. Please understand, listen to what I'm saying to you. Look at me at this camera. You are not choosing between President Biden. Whether you like him or he's too old or you don't like, you mad at him because the state of Israel has a racist, a white nationalist as a prime minister who wants to engage in the same white nationalist ideology and behavior. What happened to those innocent Israeli citizens October 7th was horrible. It was an act of terrorism and it was straight just being a coward, cowardice. You're killing innocent people unarmed. That's a straight punk move, straight coward move by Hamas. But you knew you had the bigger, stronger, more well-armed or better equipped, better armed military, the IDF, Netanyahu, 30,000 innocent Palestinian people, women and children. Come on, dude. And President Biden, he is doing everything he can. He knows what's happening in America. He knows a lot of young people are really unhappy that you still allowed Israel, even though you just can't get on the phone and stop all the money. Because America's been giving Israel, like now lately, close to $4 billion. But we have been giving the Israeli government billions of dollars for years. We've supported their military since we helped create the state of Israel in 1948. So, but it's not about President Biden. It is about your freedom and the freedom of your children and grandchildren and nieces and nephews, or your oppression and their oppression, because they got plans and you can download the PDF. Project 2025. Please understand. So, if you listen to Charles Barkley or Killer Mike or Sexy Red, Waka Flocka, Lil Wayne or Snoop, anybody say, Trump is okay and he's cool and this and that. You are playing with your freedom. You are playing with the freedom of your children and grandchildren and maybe yet to be born great-grandchildren. Please understand. When he talk about this is a choice between freedom and democracy, or between democracy, I should say, and what they call an autocracy. Autocracy, I'm going to break that word down. A dictatorship. Either we'll have a government where we get to vote and choose who represents us, or have not a form of government, have a dictatorship where one person can make all the decisions and decide that everything is going to run the way he or she wants it. And dictators are sexist and misogynistic, so they don't think that women should be able to run anything anyway. So you want to name me a woman dictator. There might have been one, maybe one that was married to somebody. All Mussolini, Hitler, currently today, Putin, Viktor Orban in Hungary. Just look at any dictator, Duterte, in Southeast Asia, any dictator. Racist, misogynistic, and want to have all the power to themselves. So understand, you're not voting for Joe Biden or Orange Hitler. You are voting for the type, you're voting to decide whether or not only will we have a democracy, will you have true freedoms? Will you have any rights? Will you allow people to be in power who not only want your demise, but got it on paper? But for my millennials and Gen Zs, my Gen Zers, and I've got one of each, I'm going to say this to you, and I've said it, and I'm going to keep repeating it. This whole cult, this racist, sexist, bigoted cult, they are afraid because many of them are dying off, but they are still trying to basically indoctrinate and pass on this ideology of hatred and sexism and misogyny to their younger generation. You got these what they call incels, involuntary celibate dudes who are so insecure and can't get their self together, so they blame all women because they can't find a woman that wants to date them or marry them. Well, if you got your shit together, if you got a problem with every woman that you try to talk to or approach, at some point you got to look in the mirror and say, well, damn, it might be some, it might not be them. It just might be me and something about me that I need to correct or change or improve or grow and learn. But to my Gen Zers and my millennials, you have the power. You have the power to determine your future. There was a song back in the 90s by a group called Snap, a one-hit wonder. It said, I got the power. Boom, 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 boom. I got the power. You millennials and Gen Zs, if you don't like the way the government is run, you need to run to be in the government. You need to run for office. You need to find some friends or some sorority or fraternity brothers and sisters and get behind them and support them that went to law school or political science majors, or just have a sense of social justice and empathy and compassion and humanity. And to just want everybody to be able to live their life and not to try to rule and have domain over and tell people how to live their life. While these same people who are trying to tell you how to live their life are some of the most immoral, hypocritical, lying-ass people that's ever existed. People who are calling for you to be perfect and so concerned about life. Don't give a shit about life. These are the same people that believe in the death penalty. And if you committed a crime and they found you guilty, they wouldn't hesitate to execute your ass in a second. Just Google, look at all the executions over the course of the last 30 years. See how many were black and how many were white. Black people and white people commit crimes. You can Google the statistics. You can find the data. You can see it online. Black people and white people in America commit crimes at about the same rate. Crime is based primarily on two things. Wherever there's high poverty and hopelessness and everything that goes along with that, all the pathologies and social ills, drug addiction, drug use, alcoholism, all of that in location. The majority of white people, like over 80 some odd percent, close to 90% of white people are murdered by other white people. And the majority of African Americans are killed because or by another African American, because we're still a segregated nation, and crime is basically a function of two main things, like I'm saying: lack of opportunity in proximity, in location, where you live and who lives around you. So millennials, my Gen Zers, you got the power. You've got the power in numbers. Out of all the different age groups or demographics between baby boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, Gen Zers, millennials and Gen Zers, you all have the numbers. There are more of you all than there are Gen Xers, baby boomers, getting older. You all have the power. Don't give it away. Step into your power. If you don't think the Democrats care enough, if you feel that they only care for black people every 4 years, take over the party. Because the MAGA cult did. Because before the MAGA cult, you had the Tea Party that came out of the election of Barack Obama, where he was like, oh shit, this Negro won. We can't ever have that, and we can't ever let that happen again. So they came up with this Tea Party organization. And they'll say it was all about economics. No. It was rooted in racism and fear. And the people in positions of power who have always used fear and hatred and sexism and misogyny for profit, continuing to do the same thing. They're like, there's going to be a lot of scared, paranoid, poor white people who haven't had opportunities because we affluent white men, primarily white men in power, that's who always had the levers of power, white men in America. When the original Constitution was written, only white male landowners, that was written, that's the way it was written in the original Constitution, could vote. Women, the word woman wasn't mentioned in that document anywhere. And blacks or Africans were 3/5 human. So, step into your power, my young brothers and sisters. And don't give it away. Because if you F around and find out, you may not get that. You may not get the power. You may not get rights that you've had that you don't even think about because you were born into a world. Until recently, young women, even middle-aged women, you have Roe versus Wade, a decision that came down through the Supreme Court that protected a woman's right to terminate her pregnancy. Now, that's gone in the Southeast mainly, all these old Confederate states, and they want to basically create a national law to ban abortion and to ban birth control pills and birth control and to force women to have birth. And if they don't, put them in jail. Then when they've already come to Supreme Court, got rid of affirmative action, all these states in Florida, Governor Ron Dumbass, death sentence, repealed all the public schools in Florida, the colleges, got rid of all what they call the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Those are just programs to make sure that schools were engaging or giving blacks and other, I don't even like to use the word minorities, blacks, non-whites, opportunities. Talented, qualified, overly qualified African Americans and Hispanic brothers and sisters, Afro-Latino brothers and sisters. Because in the Hispanic community, you've got the same colorism, white Hispanics, this whole concept of whiteness is made up anyway, but nonetheless, and the Afro-Latinos, and they got the same, all that brainwashing, pitting us against each other so the people in power can sit and maintain and keep and grow their political, economic, and social power. But my millennials and Gen Zers, you got the power. But you better protect your freedom. November 5th, you are voting to decide, you are voting to determine whether or not you will go back 200 years. You will go back and legally, you will be in a position to where by law, that this cult can oppress you in every way, in every area. You'll be living like your ancestors under a new form of Jim Crow, the Jim Crow laws. Just go back and Google the Jim Crow laws. Because what you see, or better yet, just download and Google Project 2025. Because they got it on paper. They're not trying to hide it. So you are voting for your freedom or allowing others by not voting or voting for somebody because he put his name on a stimulus check that he's not responsible for you getting that money. It was actually the Democrats in Congress in the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, pushed for that. He didn't want it at all. He didn't want poor and working class people to get that. But they had the power and the leverage, so he just said, okay, well, hell, I'll just get a big-ass Sharpie and write on it like a 4-year-old and take credit for it. Folks, playing with your mind. Free your mind. Your ass will follow and step into your power. Everyone, but especially my young brothers and sisters, step into your power. Use it before you lose it. Because if you don't use it, you might lose it forever or for several generations. You may not see your freedoms again like you have right now in your lifetime. Because that's the kind of plan that this cult have for you and me. Black and brown folks and poor working class white people, y'all need to listen to this. Because like I said, white women, they've already come for you. And they're not done. So, free your mind. Your ass will follow. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching me live. Shout out to my mom. Thank you. Glad to know she's feeling better. She's watching the show. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The weekend will be here tomorrow. I'll have my special weekend review show. Hopefully my guest co-host will be here with me, Keila Carson. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out online and his work. He is beyond a master barber. He is an artist. He is a hair artist. All right. Kel B. Cuttin on Instagram. KelBeCuttInup. CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her and her collection out on Instagram on IG LX.NCL underscores LO dash at the end of the last L. LX.NCL underscore. I love you. Thanks for watching, everybody. The next live show, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you're watching me live, thank you. If you're watching me, but I'm not live because it's after 6:30, thank you. Tell everybody, subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. The Geno Jones Show, brought to you by CM Transportation. Shout out to Carissa Carter, the CEO of CM Transportation. If you have a business and you depend on truckers or using trucking companies and they're like always late, you don't know when they're going to show up, and you want reliable, dependable, professional truckers to support your business, contact Google CM Transportation. C like Charlie, M like Mary. CM Transportation and Carissa Carter. You can Google her and find her on social media. She was my guest Wednesday night. So check out the show. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I love you. As a matter of fact, Carissa was my guest last night. That was Wednesday night. So check her out. Check out the show. Thanks. We'll see you live Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.
You don't want to miss the 2024 Charleston Black Expo, a full day of fun and activities for the whole family, including job fair, health fair, free seminars, the Divine Nine Greek Village. Join the fireside chat with Mother of Black Hollywood, actress Dr. Jennifer Lewis, and sensational performance by gospel singer and songwriter Dietrich Haddon. It's an enlightening, educating, and entertaining experience you don't want to miss. For tickets and more information, visit blackexposouth.com.